Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Dorky to an Orpheus. And yes, that is definitely a pun. We are being very dorky on this channel, and what I mean is we're doing some eclectic information. This is Mr. Ghost Sponge. I'm your host, and I'm trying to do a docu-series on the repression of science and the imagination, ingenuity. They were repressing a lot of these ideas. It all started around somebody who said that we have already imagined everything there is to imagine. They believed in the late 19th century and the 20th century that we had already figured out everything there is to figure out. There was no unknown that mankind did not know or unknow. They didn't. There was nothing we didn't know. So basically, what they were doing was they were repressing a lot of philosophers, attacking philosophers, philosophers, scientists, and they were imprisoning people. I'm doing a docu-series, and our first episode is none other than Count Zeppelin. He founded the Zeppelin Airship Construction Company in 1908 in Germany. But before that, the story is a little bit more repressive. Back in America, the Balloon Corps was disabled in 1863, and Count Zeppelin did serve in the Civil War, where he witnessed the raw energy of the French aeronautics air power. After the war, he submitted his designs for such an airship to the French Academy of Sciences and was shut down. So it's pretty common understanding that because of what he saw in the Civil War, um, it gave him a lot of inspiration just to make this big airship. And the French were the most, they led the field in all the balloon warfare back then. And when he went to the French Academy of Sciences, they responded with an aggravated remark saying, "We don't accept three types of submissions at this academy. One, being squaring of the circle," which is really stupid. People think that there's like some geometrical problem where there's no squaring. You can't like figure out what the areas with a circle and a square. And some guy, forgot his name already, but he thinks that if you can roll a circle, maybe you can turn it into a square. It's weird, retarded. I'm sorry, don't use that word. I'm gonna say slow people problem. I don't understand why people try to figure this out. And the second rebuttal was that there is no submissions for the French Academy of Sciences involving the tunnel underneath the water channel, which is today known as the channel. It's a channel or a tunnel underneath like a water channel from England to France. And back then they were just kind of saying, there's a lot of security measures, and it is just like you know, a a fucking industrial problem. And they were worried that, of all the security risks involved. And I imagine, building a tunnel underneath the water channel in England for the first time might be pretty um tense, to say the least. And the third the third aggravated remark they said was no dirigible balloons, which is weird because they were making all sorts of balloon warfare, and I don't understand why they just turn around and say no more dirigible balloons. So despite Count Zeppelin's attempt to unify international interests, he turned instead to the homeland of his, being Germany, and he went to Germany, which was his homeland. So I imagine there is a sense of pride there, but he was really just trying to, unite the international interests, being, all the war that's going on. He doesn't want to give anybody his air balloons, his spaceships, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know why he didn't go home to begin with, but uh, I mean, America wasn't really his home because they're not gonna make his dirigible air balloons very popular anymore because they disbanded the Balloon Corps, and so everybody just says to fuck with balloons at the time. They didn't really see any significance in making crazy ass war balloons. Um, but anyways, Germany. during the First World War when the airship, the Zeppelin, was a symbol of air power and aeronautical genius. World War One, despite its graphic affair, was not only a reflection of territorial pursuit. It happened during a time when humanity was just about to emerge from hypothetical science and understand the scientific community back then was very oppressed. I mean, basically, we had so many ideas that just couldn't be done yet. Like there's like a weird space between the 19th century and the 20th century, and it's like we had all these new ideas and it's like, okay, well, there's no facts, there's no proof that anything's will work. So people just started getting angry because there's like, they were saying, okay, well, theoretically, that sounds great, but we're not doing anything. And they just started, you know, repressing everything. And I think it's because they were looking for purpose, a reason to move on from the lifestyles they were living. I mean, I can imagine like being a weirdo, like old fashioned and stuff, saying what is all this futuristic stuff. But it was going to take a lot more than facts to industrialize the new world. In fact, I would go as far as to say people back then were willing to fight for the future. With all the oppression on the imagination itself, it is no wonder why war was the real culprit in much of our science and giving it purpose for the engines of our world. All right, thank you. Goodbye.